But Coach, the hot topic now is this Tank situation. I don't know if you've seen it. Tank is being sued by a young lady. You know, us, we don't really talk about the personal things. So now Jake Paul is looking for another opponent. Netflix is trying to get him to fight Ryan Garcia, but Oscar De La Hoya shot that down. So my question to you, Coach, is: do you agree with Jake Paul moving on from Tank to go find another opponent to fulfill a Tank? Or do you think that, hey man, you ain't gonna find nobody else like a Tank who can basically give you the numbers that you need? Let me know something.
Long story short, right here, I'm gonna take it back a little bit. Way before me and Capo talked about this offline, off the podcast. We was talking on the phone. We was texting about it. I said this a while ago. All this ties into when Tank got on there and he dropped the F bomb, not the FUCK, but the other F bomb that known in the world today as the worst word to say, in this time in day and age with the LG alphabet Q company, whatever they call themselves, whatever they want to call themselves. This ties back into that. You cannot say stuff like that publicly and think they're gonna let you get away with it. Yeah, they might let you walk around, roam around, make you feel like you still yourself. But again, it's always gonna come back to bite you in the behind. Now that this came up, you got to fight with Jake Paul, yada yada yay. Now it's being taken away, and all this ties back into it. And Tank is always constantly being put in a tough situation, whether he's going to jail for beating on somebody. I don't like I say, all this is alleged. I'm not really there in these situations, so I'm just allegedly speaking. But every time Tank feels like he gets a little break or he about to get a big piece of change, what happens? He's got to go to court. He's got to go to jail. Oh, he's on probation, or he can't go here. He can't leave outside of the country. Every single time he gets a chance to try to move forward with something or his boxing career, they find a way to nip it in the bud. And this ties back into what he said a while ago on the internet, openly and publicly when he dropped the F bomb. So again, this is coming back to bite him in the behind. And second of all, I'm glad he don't get this fight because I don't care about the fight. This shouldn't even be done. You are known as a boxer. You hold a belt. You're active, and you choose to go and fight Jake Paul. No, you got business to take care of. If you was doing what you was supposed to be doing on your side of the fence and not messing with Jake Paul, fight Lamont Roach and getting ready to prepare to fight Shakur Stevenson or whoever else, Teofimo, whoever, don't matter, they wouldn't be bothering you as much. But they know what you finna get when you go over there messing with Jake Paul. Yes, Tank is the guy that's gonna bring in the viewers. He's gonna bring in the cash, but also Jake Paul is tied into a lot of other stuff himself. So with that being said, this is gonna happen to you continuously. Just do what you're known for. Go be a professional boxer. You don't need to be a professional entertainer. Be a professional boxer. Dress up your resume and do what you're supposed to do. Get what you're trying to get and retire like you want to. Stop trying to, reach outside of the box that you built. Sometimes, thinking outside the box is cool, but sometimes with certain characters, individuals, especially ones that's publicly known and has popularity like a Tank, just do what they know you for. Stop trying to reinvent the wheel. Stop trying to go outside of your necessary means and do what you're supposed to do. And like I said before, I agree. I 100% agree. Jake Paul gonna fight anybody else. I don't care. Tank, you got real business to take care of. You don't need to be playing with no Jake Paul. In anyways, I'm gonna say this publicly. I think there's a bunch of stipulations in the contracts that they sign when they go fight Jake Paul. I believe in them contracts. They tell them if you want this money, you cannot knock me out in this round, or you can't hit me so hard, or you can't even attack me at all. And you can't go back and look at some of the fights and say, okay, there was something stopping him from whooping on Jake Paul. Because some of the fighters he beat, regardless of where they come from and what they done, these are professional fighters, UFC and professional boxers. You mean to tell me you can't go in there and get with Jake Paul? Come on now. It's some of those contracts that prevents them from being themselves when they get in the ring. And I know that was gonna happen with the Tank fight anyway. Jake Paul was not gonna allow Tank to beat him in any kind of way on a Jake Paul promotion type bid. That's not gonna happen. So I'm glad it's off. Tank, Get your head right. Go fight who you're supposed to fight. And if you're gonna retire, retire. Whatever you choose to do, Jake Paul is not shouldn't have been an option anyway. That's my take on it. That's how I look at it. Everybody entitled to their own opinions, but at the same time, I'm glad him fighting Ryan Garcia. I don't care. That's cool. That's cool. Ryan Garcia to me means nothing to the sport of boxing. He hasn't done anything good with his platform. He hasn't. Well, I can't say he ain't fought nobody, but at the same time, the time he did fight somebody, look what came up. So, and that's to me that Ryan Garcia. Okay, that's entertainer fighting another entertainer. Cool, go do y'all thing. But Tank, leave it alone. Leave it alone.
It's a blessing in disguise. And that's what I've been saying. When you sit here, look, besides, his personal stuff, like Mr. Baloo said, it's exhausting and it's kind of sad. It is. I don't really discuss personal issues with fighters, right? I don't know what they got going on. I'm not for men putting their hands on women. You know what I'm saying? But I'm also knowing that, there's some women out here who are money hungry too. You feel me? So at the same time, like, we don't know the facts and details of that situation. So for me, as it pertains to, the personal stuff, I stay away from that. But as it comes to boxing, it's a blessing because if this fight don't happen, hey man, wait for Lamar Rose to fight Eastside Pitbull Cruz, and you go fight the winner of that fight. That's how that go, right? You was already rumored to possibly use looking at Eastside Pitbull Cruz before he lost to Rayo, right? Now these two dudes finna fight each other. Cool. Go to San Antonio, or you ain't gotta go to San Antonio. You can just kind of watch it on TV. You know what I mean? If Lamar Roach take care of business, boom. All right, cool. Hey, Lamar Roach, let's get it cracking. You know what I'm saying? Or hey, retire. If you're gonna retire, you tired of, boxing and all this other stuff, retire. But whatever decision you do, make that decision. Don't leave boxing alone. The thing with Tank that gets me, and look, I get it. I understand like the frustration, but at the same time, like, if you're gonna retire, just do that. Right? Like, just do it. We, you know, yeah, you're an exciting fighter. Yes, you a very popular fighter. And I think Tank can beat a lot of top guys in boxing. Right? We just want to see him do it. But at the same time, it's like, if you're not dedicated, if your mind not right and you're not into it, just go ahead and retire. Right? I know a lot of people got an issue with that, but nobody had an issue with it when Shakur said he retired. Nobody had an issue with it when Keyshawn Davis said on his live the other day, "I'm retired." So it's like at the end of the day, we got to keep that same energy, man. You feel me? If you ain't got an issue with none of that stuff, then with them, then you shouldn't have an issue with Tank. But the problem is, and what Coach was talking about when it comes to Tank, is just a lot of hatred, right? They want to see him take an L. He on that list, right? They had a couple of fighters that was on that list: Errol Spence, Gervonta Tank Davis, Deontay Wilder, right? That's off the top of my head. Those three that when they were undefeated, people was like, I can't stand them. I can't wait for them to lose. The Charlos, both of them, right? Man, I want them to take L's, right? And then when Charlo lost, boy, they was celebrating. They thought it was over with. Then he came back and started knocking everybody out. So you got to separate your hatred from logic, and that's my whole take on this boxing talk. Is and Coach B on that same type of time. You know what I'm saying? We understand that there are certain fighters that people you don't like, you don't really care for. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't too much care for Ryan Garcia or the racist Teofimo Lopez, but they are very talented fighters, right? And I'm not gonna sit here and they go through something personal, and I'm gonna sit there and take this time to bash them and oh you're this and you're a B word and you're this. No, we gotta respect the sport, right? Like I say, I don't too much care for Teofimo. He said all that racist stuff, you know. I don't care for that. And me personally, Terrence Crawford becoming friends with him again, I felt like that was weak. I felt like, hey man, look, you said all that racist stuff, talking about you gonna feed me a banana, I'm a monkey, and all this. Hey, at least one thing we gotta do is we gotta spar. That's at least what we got to do. You know what I'm saying? That's the least we got to do. That's the era I come from. That's the era Coach B come from. We like, hey, look, hey man, that's cool and all. You was doing it for promotion, but we still got to spar. We got to do something. Like I can't just let you go scot free. We got to work. We got to get in them hands. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it is. But it's like nowadays, it's like, oh, this dude come back. Oh man, I was just trolling. It's cool. And like, oh okay, man, stop playing with that stuff, bro. Nah, ain't no stop playing. I don't care if we cool. Hey, bro, look, that's cool and all, but we gotta handle this. We gotta get to it. We gotta get in the gloves. It ain't gangster stuff. It's man stuff. At the end of the day, you're a grown man. I'm a grown man. You said something disrespectful. There got to be accountability, right? And that's the problem with today, right? But to tie back to Tank, man, like it's a blessing that if this fight falls through, it's a blessing. I I didn't want this fight. Coach B didn't want this fight. We didn't want Tank. Nobody wanted Tank to fight no Jake Paul. Jake Paul needs to stick to YouTubers and old UFC fighters. That's what he needs to stick to, right? And Nickelodeon fighters. That's what he needs to stick to. All this fighting real fighters. He fought a real fighter last time he lost. And Tommy Fury. So I'm just saying, like, it's a blessing. If this fight for and I'm not saying it in the sense of to hate on Tank, right? Because Tank gonna get a career high payday, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, it's like Tank can get that fighting Lamont Roach, right? Tank can get that fighting Shakur, possibly. You know what I mean? Well, Shakur is a sparring partner. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So I just think, man, the whole Tank situation is crazy. And then, Oscar De La Hoya shooting down that Ryan Garcia stuff. I mean, rightfully so. Ryan Garcia is coming off a loss to Rolly. So, what would Ryan Garcia need to focus on getting back right in boxing. And Ryan Garcia has never been a champion. Yes, he got names on his resume, but he's never been a champion. So he need to focus on that.